Alright, now I would like to talk about an area where the Camlink 4K actually falls short. So, Elgato obviously has this USB capture card called the Camlink. And there's variants of it like an HD60S or else 4K. Some of them are USB, some of them are PCI Express. But I have a Camlink 4K, which is a USB capture card. And I would like to talk about an area where that struggles essentially, and why I now use a Mirabox for the camera that you're seeing right here instead of the Camlink. When I use this camera with the Camlink, it's atrocious, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So, I originally got a Camlink so I could capture stuff and just have a good quality product without having to worry about like reliability, heat, etc. The Camlink does a pretty good job with that. It was relatively cheap compared to some of the other options. But so you think that since it supports up to 4K 30 hertz, it would be the ultimate product, right? Well, when it comes to this camera, not really. So my camera that I'm using outputs 1080i 60. So while the Camlink supports 1080p 60, if you have something with an interlaced output, such as the camera I'm using right here, then it can do 1080p, but the quality is actually quite a bit worse than what you're seeing right here. And it does only half the frame rate. And there's interlacing massively. It looks terrible. With a 1080i 60 source, it ends up becoming 1080p 29.97, I think. And it's got horrible interlacing. Even with the interlacing in OBS, it looks horrible. But the Mirabox, I got that to hopefully handle interlacing better, since pretty much no other capture card that I've looked at, as far as I can tell, supports 1080i 60. So that's an area where the Camlink falls short. For this, I use a Mirabox, whatever you call it, and that supports 1080i 60. So if you try to record 1080i, the Camlink doesn't really work super well with interlaced inputs. Works well with progressive, which is what's used most of the time. So, yeah, the Mirabox, I originally got that just because I wanted to get a budget capture card. I got it for 60 USD dollars when I got the Mirabox, which is about half the Camlink. And yet it works better with a camera like this. The Mirabox only goes up to like 1080p, but that is all I want anyway, so it's perfect for me. Camlink does not work well with the camcorders, so I typically use it to record my computers and stuff. And then the Mirabox to record this camera when I want to be in front of the green screen. So yeah, just thought I'd share that interesting tidbit. The other thing is, if I want to do a 1080p input and the device can default to 4K, then it does 4K 30 when I wanted to do 1080p 60. So the solution I use for that is an HDMI splitter. I hook that up to a 1080p display, so the input goes into the input port. Then there's two outputs on a splitter. All the ports are female on the splitter, and one end goes to the Camlink, the other end goes to a 1080p display, which will force the Camlink to do 1080p as well. That's how I get around that issue. So those are a couple areas where I've noticed the Camlink falls short. It's essentially how I deal with it.